So for a few of you, we gotta try and get you guys to get your heels down more, get those knees back, take some weight off that front end. Right now, obviously you can tell coming down that hill, there's a lot to that front end. It's acting as a dozer. It's just pushing down that hill. Don't have good control or leverage over that thing and balance to get it into that corner right now. So biggest thing what we're going to work on is that controlled braking so we can move on to the trail with the bigger hill. For the controlled braking, not so much coming down that hill, stomping into the brake, locking up that rear tire and sliding, because when you slide, are you stopping? No, you're just sliding, right? Depending on how steep the hill is, you could be going faster when you break into a slide. So being patient at the top, right? Not rushing it. Set your speed up there, because if you're going through that corner up there pretty quick, it's going to be a lot harder to try and slow down on the downhill. So I want you to come up there, right? You know, remember where it's at. That left-hander by the cactus. Set your speed before you get into the corner. So before you start the corner, make sure you're at a comfortable speed. Now, for that braking, just like this slide we did down there, what happens when you don't pull on your clutch? Oh. The bike stalls, right? So make sure you're pulling your clutch. Besides you. So now for that braking, instead of locking it up, I want you to think of it as just like driving the cars coming to a stop sign. You're slowly pushing to that brake, right? Now, that right foot will go forward on that pedal. Slowly start pushing into that rear brake. If you do feel it start to slide, starts kicking to the side, you can let off, get back into it slowly. Okay? Anytime you let off, if it starts kicking out to the side on you, it starts getting out of control, remember, as soon as you lift, that bike will naturally go straight just from the gyro of the wheels. So, release, straighten out, back into that brake. Here's where we're gonna start using that front brake. One finger. We don't do 4 just because you tend to be more aggressive, as in a handful, right? So, one finger, just like the cars. Slowly pulling that front brake. At a beginner to intermediate level, we always say, approach the rear first, then start slowly bringing in that front brake. Because if you may give it too much front first, now it's going to throw you off. Now you're going to, hesitate and you won't want to grab the rear brake. So approach rear first, then slowly start pulling in that front brake. Left leg stays in that leverage zone, right? Don't let that thing tuck forward. Any questions? Are we ready? Yep. Let's do it. Go for it. feel? Good. Everybody looked pretty good coming down that hill. Everybody.
Where'd you get that start from?
That corner pretty good
What?
too.
So
kind of like what we worked on down there before we came up here. Initiating with that inside peg, get that bike to turn into those corners, and then balance it out with that outside, right? And then if you need to, use that knee, push that knee into that seat, the shroud, to help get that front end to dive a little more. Vision. Everybody looked pretty well with that vision. Not many are looking down at the ground now here. Now, we're gonna reverse it so we can go uphill. So for that corner, not so much rush in the corner. Oh no, I gotta get this hill. I gotta get up it. If you come into this corner fast and then you make a pause right about the exit, now, what happens when you give it a lot of gas? Spin. You're gonna spin, right? Now, on that uphill, what's the worst thing, or what's the last thing you want?
Stalling.
Wheel spin.
Speed.
Going backwards.
Yeah, that's right. So, setting a good speed, a comfortable speed, a manageable speed before you even get to the corner, right? Now, using that footwork, initiating with that inside peg, weighting that outside to help keep that bike planted in that corner. Vision. Does everybody know where that like dark dirt, where it's siltier in the corner?
Yeah.
In that spot, because that's about the middle, almost the apex, eyes on the top of the hill. If you start focusing on the edge of the hill and your front end rides up on it, and you're still paying attention to where you're at, definitely a high chance of you making the mistake, sliding around a lot more. If I was to get my front end up on that ledge, rear end stays in the hole, I'm going to keep my eyes on the cactus at the top. I'm not going to look anywhere else because I know, I trust myself. If I look where I want to go, I will get there. As soon as you start looking down, where are you going to go?
Down.
Down.
Don't hit the cactus though.
Don't hit the cactus.
Smart goal.
We do, we'll hit the cactus though. So, we're going to reverse the track, momentum, and for that hill climb, not so much wait to the exit and just giving it all you got. Carrying your speed, slowly rolling into that throttle so you can manage a good traction all the way up the hill. Not waiting to the last minute and then just giving it all you got and fighting that hill. Using your clutch, keeping it in that friction zone. That friction zone where if you have it enough in to where the bike's still moving, but then you're right there, obviously not to where it's stalling, right? Because if you get on that hill and you're not, let's say you come in third, you don't got your clutch in enough, what's it gonna do? It's gonna tug and then stall, right? So keeping it in that friction zone, keeping those RPMs up, and then just slowly letting that clutch out on that hill. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's reverse it.
also struggling a bit because I feel kind of comfortable, you know, with whatever that is.
Yep.
Taking a break.
I know, that's tiring.
Same with you. You had a few good ones.